Namaste, youngsters. I see so many of you guys on already. Hi, Nicola, Katrina, Brita, Tara, and Celine. So we are just getting ready to get started. PJ's Ying, so I'm all dressed up for the occasion. We're going to start with a loving kindness meditation. So whenever you're ready, if you'd like to just come to a nice comfortable seat. Make sure you're nice and cozy. So just sitting up nice and tall. Hi Paula, Camilla and Kathy. Good to see you. God, it's great to be practicing with you again this evening. And so we are going to start with a loving kindness meditation if you just joined. So just come to a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Just taking a few conscious releasing breaths. Just giving your body time just to arrive. And as the body begins to settle in and arrive, just notice what have you brought to the practice this evening. So what makes up your experience right now? How is the body feeling physically, energetically, emotionally, and mentally? Just a quick check-in. Just resting your awareness now just on the gentle ebb and flow of your breath. Just noticing how the breath feels this evening. So if it's comfortable, breathing in and out through the nose, do that. Just noticing the temperature and the texture of the inhale at the nostrils, and the temperature and the texture of the exhale at the nostrils. So really immersing your awareness into the breath. So following the inhale and the pause, and the exhalation and the pause. Now moving your awareness to your heart. Just begin to listen for the beat of your heart. Or have an empathic awareness of the heart and its beat. And just allow a slow, gentle rhythm to arise of its own accord. Feel the cave of the heart, the spiritual heart. Noticing the shelter around the heart, the ribs like a palace walls protecting. How does it feel here? Is it full, heavy, weighted, guarded, spacious, open? Feel any holding patterns of isolation, grief, or anxiety lift from the heart. So within you is the capacity to love, a love that transcends separation. With love, offer these lines to yourself. May you be safe. So you're going to be saying, may I be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live a life of peace and ease. And then just repeat that to yourself 3 more times. So you'll be saying, may I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live a life of peace and ease. May I be happy. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I live a life of peace and ease. Now shift your awareness to someone you love. Envision this person, their clothing, their hair, their smile. Just like you, they want to be loved and to give love. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live a life of peace and ease. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live a life of peace and ease. Now shift your awareness to someone neutral in your life. Maybe a person that you pass on the street. Picture this person and send this greetings to them. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live a life of peace and ease. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live a life of peace and ease. And if it feels right, we can bring our attention to someone that we feel that we've closed off our hearts to. It could be a significant or a small barrier that you've created. And if it doesn't feel right, just stay with sending the love to yourself. So just picture that person forefront of your mind and offer this greeting. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live a life of peace and ease. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live a life of peace and ease. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live a life of peace and ease. Just take a moment for this to settle. And we can continue to cultivate this love and kindness to ourselves during the practice this evening. So you can even use that as a silent mantra as we work through our poses. So we're starting with our butterfly, our long-legged butterfly. So if you're using props, you can grab them now. Make sure the sit bones are on the ground. You can take your feet together and we're going to take them as far away from the body as possible. We're also going to incorporate a little bit of eagle arms to open up our hearts too. So a really nice way to work with that mantra. If it doesn't feel right to do full eagle arms, what we're going to do is start by crossing the right over the left. You could hold onto your elbows and then you're going to drop the elbows down and release the head down. This is where your blocks can come in. You could use a block here if it didn't feel comfortable to go all the way down. Also, if you're coming into full eagle, we're going to bring the forearms together. You might like to rest them on a block or the bolster. So it's up to you whether you use props here or not. They're just there to sort of build the floor up to meet you wherever you're at. So different poses will feel differently in the body, so we can use them for some and maybe not all of the poses. So if you're crossing, it's right over top, if you're right on the top, and then we're going to come into Garudasana if you can, or just drop down here. We're going to change halfway. So as the forearms drop towards the floor, we can feel that space at the back of the emotional heart beginning to open a little bit here. And as I say, take as many props as you like. Maybe you could place something soft underneath the arms here too. And let the shoulders move away from the ears if that's possible. And so we drop into our first shape. Just notice what is showing up. What edges are calling to you? And just rest your awareness there on wherever you feel the most sensation. So if you're new to Yin, we arrive in these passive poses. We come to a place where we first feel our edges. So if you arrive into a pose and you're not really feeling anything, you need to go a little bit deeper. And so no matter how flexible you are, we all have an edge. So we arrive there. And another principle of Yin is, or Tattva, is that we remain as still as possible. And this allows us to access the connective tissue in the body. And then another principle is we're going to stay here for some time. So you really need to bear that in mind when you arrive into your first shape. So we can use our breath to really help soften our edges, especially when the sensations become quite intense. So any minor or traumatic traumas that we have experienced in this life get stored in the body. And that's sort of what we're looking to access, some of that stored holding and guarding and traumas, moving into areas that feel a little bit uncomfortable. And it's only when we can access these areas and be with that discomfort and soften into it that we can let it go. So it's a very mindful practice. It looks like restorative, but it's absolutely nothing like restorative. And both of them are equally valuable in your practice. And they're all just different parts of the practice.
So yin is really a practice of coming home and being able to be comfortable and stay with what is there. And if after a few breaths you're not feeling anything, you can go a little bit deeper. So we are going to switch now. This might be a time to go deeper if you choose, taking your left arm, either hands onto your shoulders, arriving back down, or back into eagle arms with the left arm on top. Chin to chest, open up the back of the neck, open up the heart space. Inner thighs and groin. Just breathing into your experience, so breathing into wherever you feel the most intense sensations. And if it is a sensation around a joint and it feels like a nerve-like pain, please do move out of it. So we're looking for more deeper ache, a type of pain that might make you get a little fidgety and shift around, but we try and stay comfortable and soften into it. Just one more breath in here, inhale. And as you exhale, slowly, mindfully make your way up. Just taking your time. We always feel a little extra achy as we're moving out of the poses. This is perfectly normal. It means the yin is doing its thing. So we're just going to let the knees drop a little from side to side. And then we're going to move into our second posture this evening, which is our pigeon or our yin pigeon. We're going to use our bolster if you have one. And if you don't have one, that's absolutely fine. You can just come to the floor like regular pigeon. So we're going to start with the right leg, bringing your left leg behind. So my right knee is tucked right up against my bolster and my heel is touching the bolster too. If your hip is feeling a little tight, you can take that knee forward so the leg is at an angle, and that'll give your knee a little bit of a break too. Otherwise, hug the knee up to the bolster and we'll walk that left leg behind you. And then from here, you can make your way down into a resting pigeon, bringing your forearms onto the floor, or resting swan, as it's called in yang. So what we're looking to access here is the right hip and the right thigh and the right buttock and glute muscles. So if you like, you can come all the way down. I like to do this, is to stack my hands and rest my head down. But you might like to come all the way down into sleeping and release the head to the floor. Just see what suits your body this evening. If you're a regular hip stretcher, you might find that you're not feeling too much sensation in that right hip. If that's the case, draw the sit bone back towards the back of the mat just a little bit, and then the left hip bone, draw it forward and down onto your bolster. And that should be enough to just bring a little bit more sensation into the right hip and the buttock. We're going to settle and soften here for 5 minutes, so get nice and comfortable. Sometimes it takes a few breaths to really allow the body to arrive. So you might come into it and think, not feeling too much, but as you begin to settle and soften, you might be able to drop a little deeper. Noticing what sensations are showing up here in the right side of the body. And is it comfortable and easy to breathe? So throughout the practice, we use this as an anchor into presence, our breath, and the sensations we're feeling. This is where the true magic of yin works. So it's part of our human nature to sort of be able to settle into presence when things are all good. And sometimes it's a little bit more difficult when things are not going so good or there's some really uncomfortable sensations coming up in the body. So this is where the work is. And then hopefully we can bring this practice from the mat and out into the world and be less reactive to situations that are uncomfortable too. So just breathing in and out of your experience. It's also a great life practice to be able to soften when things are uncomfortable too. So the more we practice that here on the mat, again, we can take that back out into the world. And so when we harden and tighten to uncomfortable situations, if anything is thrown at us, we're more likely to break. But if you're soft, things can just bounce off you. We're just going to take a couple more breaths here into the right side of the body. Remembering that mantra of loving kindness. And then we're going to walk our hands back. And from here we can come into a little bit of a yang split where you're just going to flex your right foot, toes back towards your body. It's a little bit more active, so we won't stay here for long. You can drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to change sides. So we'll take your right leg back and take your left leg forward. And moving into our swan, our pigeon. Again, you have the choice here. So each hip is usually a little different, so you can play around with it to get comfortable. Left knee, it can be all the way up against the bolster and the heel. You can drop the hips down, walk that right leg behind you. And then you have the options to either come onto your forearms or come all the way to the floor. Again, play with this until it feels right. and that you're able to soften into it. And again, just taking a few conscious settling breaths. So the guarding and the holding that we feel is a protective action from the body to stop us hurting ourselves. So you can use your breath as a way to soften into it, to tell the body that it's safe to be here. And then just notice what shows up. So what is the quality and the texture and the depth of the sensations that you're feeling left side? And then just checking into those areas that we habitually tighten and hold, such as shoulders, jaw, buttocks, to soften. And then just notice what shows up. And once again, how is the breath in this posture? Does it move easy and smoothly? Or does it feel restricted somehow? Notice if you get distracted or leave the mat somehow, leave the building, and just keep coming back. The sensations you're feeling, the ever-changing sensations, and the breath. And we're just going to take 3 more breaths here, just breathing in and out of your experience. And then when you're ready, taking your hands to the floor and slowly begin to walk yourself back. And then from here you can once again stretch into this like half Hanuman or yin split here. So you can flex the toes of the left foot back towards your body. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. And we're using this just as a counter stretch, so we won't stay here. And then from here, you can take your left leg back. Just for a moment, just pause, sit on your heels. Check in with the hips, the shoulders,
Good to see you guys. Deirdre, Louie, Anne, Lucy, and Mary Lennon. So just relaxing the shoulders and settling. Noticing the space that you created around the hips and the thighs. And then we're going to move into our dragonfly. So we're going to take our legs nice and wide. It's basically a straddle. And sit bones are on the ground again. But we're going to do three moves here. So you might like to take some props as well. Let me just grab the clock. I didn't charge up my watch, so I could use it. So, okay. So once again, you can use your props. We're going to take our body over to, we're going to use this as a side bend. So one of the things you can do, we're going to go over to the right side first. You can use a block, or you can use your bolster, or you can use both, or nothing. So what I'm going to do is take my right elbow onto the block here. Actually, I might use a bolster. No, the block will do. And then the left arm can either go over my head if that feels okay, or I can slide across my lower back. So the back of the hand just comes around to the right side of the ribs here. You need to go far enough into it that you can feel a side stretch here along the intercostal muscles. So just see what fits your body this evening, whether you'd like to take your arm all the way over. You could have your elbow on a bolster or a bolster and a block. Or maybe your elbow can come all the way to the floor. So just check in with your body and then settle in. So it's nice to vary up the side stretches we do, because I definitely think banana asana, you feel different in it than you do in this one. We can just get into a little bit deeper in around the rib cage. Again, checking into those areas that we habitually hold and consciously soften. Breathing in and out of your experience. Softening your edges. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly, mindfully, just bring yourself to a seat. You can relax your arms down by your side, just let everything soften. And then we'll do the same to the other side. So grabbing your prop, if you're going to use one, take it to the outside of the leg, and then we'll take our elbow on. So there's different versions we do where we hold onto the feet. In this one, we're just bringing the elbow to your prop. You can take your hand underneath your head here, and again, you have the option to reach the arm overhead if that feels okay, or slide it across the lower back. I had the bolster behind me for the last one, and I rested my hand on it. It felt pretty good.
So arriving into a shape that feels okay, but that you can feel your edges. You can breathe easily and direct your focus on your experience. Breathing into the right side ribs. So the great thing is if you do have your arm up and overhead, you get to open up along the lats, the latissimus dorsi, and triceps as well. But it's important not to go too deep, as this is where we begin to contract and hold. So soft enough just to feel and breathe into. What I like about this particular side bend too is we also get to open and create a little bit of space in the neck. So breathing in and out of the sensations that you're feeling here. And just 2 more breaths here. And then we'll slowly, mindfully come back to the center. Just relax your arms down by your side, shoulders away from the ears. Again, just waiting for the yin to soften, the rebound effect. And then lastly, we're going to come forward for like our full straddle. So take your legs as wide as comfortable for you. And this is where you can use your bolster too. You could rest your arms down onto your bolster. Sometimes it's nice to actually place the bolster on top of your arms just to encourage you to drop the shoulders away from the ears as you come into this forward fold. So you're going to lengthen your pressing down into your sit bones, and then you're folding from your hip crease forward. It doesn't matter what the pose looks like, it's what it feels like in the body. So this is very much an embodied practice as we mindfully move from one shape to another. Again, taking those first few conscious breaths, just letting your body settle into the shape. And then noticing where you feel the most sensation here. And you can just rest your attention there. Breathing softly in and out of those sensations. Just going to take 3 more breaths here. And then we're going to slowly, mindfully just begin to walk yourself back up again. And just knowing that this is when you feel the most fragile and broken. I promise you, you're not. So feet on the floor and just gently easing out of that. And this evening we're going to come into a twist which is a little bit more restorative, and we're going to use our bolster. If you don't have a bolster, I'm going to show you a version that you can do straight on the floor, and then I'll demonstrate the one with the bolster. So we're going to do it straight on the floor. We're going to take our legs out to the right hand side, and then just bring the torso onto the floor. You can take your arms out into a cactus, so the arms are bent at the elbows, and then turn your gaze to the left hand side. This will complete the twist. But if this doesn't feel comfortable for your neck or head, you can keep your gaze to the right hand side. And it's very similar. What we're going to do with the bolster is bring it along the middle of the mat, and then just bring your left hip against the edge of the bolster. You can stagger your legs or you could stack them. So you can play with both, see which one feels better for your body this evening. We'll turn the torso so it faces over the bolster, and then lay the center of the torso straight over the bolster. This is where an extra blanket or a cushion can be handy too, because for some it's nice to put your head here on a cushion rather than straight onto the bolster. But if it feels okay, you can take your head down onto the bolster. And if it feels okay for your neck, we are going to turn our head the other way. This will complete the twist from the tailbone all the way up into the neck. So we're going to stay here just a couple of minutes. So take those few releasing breaths just to give your body time to arrive on the bolster. Now you can also go a little bit deeper by extending your right leg out, and you could hold it with your right hand as well. That is another option. Just see what suits your body this evening. Just bearing in mind that we're coming to a place that we're not going to be tightening or contracting, that we're softening and just being present with that. Pouring your awareness into the sensations that you're feeling here. So another tip for this pose as well, which I always forget to mention until I come into it. If you are not so tall like myself, it might be nice to sit on a cushion so that you're not pressing your ribcage so much into the bolster. Just gives you a little bit more length, sort of from your hips to your waist. So if it doesn't feel comfortable and you're feeling so much pressure and your diaphragm is being pushed in, you can always place something underneath your sit bones, and that'll just give you a little bit more height. 2 more breaths here. And then once you've completed them, we'll slowly, mindfully bring yourself to a seat, and we're going to switch it around. So bringing the right hip all the way up to the edge of the bolster, or of course if you're doing it on the floor, we're still going to turn in the same direction. Torso down. And then turning the head to look out to the right if that feels okay. Or you can keep it looking out over the left. And then just once you arrive, use those conscious breaths to allow the body to settle. So it's a little bit more restorative than yin, as we're often looking to stress around the joints a little bit with yin. But just noticing, where do you feel this twist in the body? Is the breath restricted, or does it move easily through you? Just a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly, mindfully bring the hands to the floor, bring yourself to a comfortable seat. And so we're making our way into our last few poses here. So actually the last 2 poses. We're just going to open the shoulders a little more. So we've opened the chest a bit already with our first back bend and our Garudasana arms, working into the arms. But we'll just take a minute opening up the shoulders a tiny bit more before we finish with our bridge pose. So we're going to come to lay on your belly. And if you shift the body over to the left side of the mat, you don't have to stay in this pose any great deal of time for it to work its magic. Stretch your right arm straight out from the shoulder with the palm facing down. And then left hand is beside you like you're coming into cobra. You're going to roll onto the right shoulder. So if you like, you can stack your legs here, or you can take your left leg behind a little bit. This will also work into the left hip here too. So just getting comfortable and settle in. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can place that left foot on the floor behind you, if that feels okay. And when you're ready, we slowly, mindfully move back onto your belly. And once you arrive, you can bend your right arm, give it a moment to settle. And then when you're ready, we're going to shift the body over to the right side of the mat. And then take your left arm straight out, palm facing down. And then rolling onto the left shoulder here. So you can just take that right leg back or stack it. Make sure there's no tension or holding in the neck here. And then just settle and notice what you feel. So if after a few breaths you want to go that little bit deeper, you can place that right ball of the foot on the floor and bend that right leg. And then from here, slowly, mindfully, coming all the way back onto your belly. When you feel ready, just bend that left arm, let it settle and soften. And then we're going to brace ourselves up through child's pose. And then you can prepare for your last shape. So we're going to come into our supported bridge. You can use either your bolster or a block. If you're using a bolster, you can place it in the same place, a block underneath the sacrum on the hard part of the back, the lower back. Or we're going to use the bolster. Again, we don't stay here too long, but make sure you have everything you need for your relaxation, because we're going to move from this straight into our relaxation. So if you're using your bolster, again, the sacrum, that flat part of the lower back, is going to be resting. Head is on the floor. There should be space underneath your neck, so you're not pressing the neck in any way into the floor. Feet are hip distance apart. They're flat on the floor, but the legs are pretty soft. You can take your hands onto your ribs, elbows wide, and just close your eyes. So dropping the sacrum down, just allowing it to be fully rooted and grounded into the support. And then just noticing the breath as it is right now. What is the unique sound of your breath as you breathe in and out? Noticing each breath as it arrives and as it leaves. And so perhaps if the hands are on the ribs when you breathe in, you can feel that expansion, not only to the front but to the sides. And as the breath moves out, you feel the hands moving a little bit back towards the center. And then from here, we're going to press down into your feet just to lift the hips up so you can slide your bolster out. You might like to roll it underneath your knees and then grab everything you need for relaxation. So getting nice and comfortable. Just giving the body a moment just to settle. Just feeling the floor underneath you and the earth beneath it. Just giving your body permission to be held, supported here. Giving your body permission to soften and let go of any unnecessary holding in the body. Just taking several slow, deep breaths, exhaling completely after each. And now bring to mind a location where you feel completely comfortable, peaceful and safe. So it may be a real place or a hypothetical place, or a place from your past, or somewhere where you've wanted to visit. So make this exactly as you want it to be, including the right temperature, the right sounds. Are you alone in this place, or is there someone with you? So just taking your time, just allowing this special place to take shape slowly. And as your place begins to take shape, look around. Look to the left. Look to the right. And all around you. What do you see? Notice the colors, the textures, the shapes. Listen to the sound of your special place. Do you hear waves, birds, music, or just silence? Now taking a deep breath and notice all the smells around you. Perhaps you smell a pine forest or the ocean or your favorite food. What do you feel on your skin? A breeze, raindrops, the warmth of the sun. Now imagine taking a walk through your place. You spot an object on the ground and pick it up. What is it? Is it smooth or rough? natural or man-made? Why have you found this? What does it mean to you? Relax and enjoy the peace, comfort and safety of your special place. You feel calm, you feel whole and safe. Relax, feeling gratitude and happy to be here in this moment. Everything is right just as it should be. And taking a moment just to return back to your body. Just feeling yourself on the floor. And take a deeper breath. And begin to invite some movement into the body, to the hands, the feet, maybe the neck and head. And then when you're ready, take a full body stretch, whatever way feels right for your body right now. And we'll slowly, mindfully move onto your yin side, your left side, and press yourself up to a comfortable seat. So once you arrive on your seat, you can take one hand to the center of your chest and one hand to your abdomen, just keeping your eyes closed here. Just your awareness directed inwards. And as you sit here, envision your special place, your feeling there, and the object you found. And know that your mind is the most powerful tool you have, and that you can be in this favorite place anytime. So you can even just drop in for a couple of moments during a stressful situation. Just take time to come back to your breath and arrive into your safe place. And now we'll take our hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And then resting your awareness at the very base of your spine. As you inhale, we're going to draw the breath from the base to the crown of the head. And as we exhale, we bow forward to seal in all the benefits of this evening's practice. Namaste. And thank you so much, yogis, for joining me for the yin thing tonight. I'm just going to pop here. Hi, Breed, Linda, and Ruth. It's great to practice with you all this evening. So we are going to be back tomorrow evening. Normally it's going to be 7:15 on a Wednesday, but it's going to be a little bit later, 8:30 tomorrow. So we can do the whole PJ thing again tomorrow. We're going to focus on meridians tomorrow, and we're going to finish with some Tibetan bowls. So have a great evening. Thanks for all dropping in and saying hi, and I'll see you tomorrow.